Good morning, friends. I'm Leona Evans, minister at Unity of San Luis Obispo, an inclusive spiritual community affirming the good in all life. Welcome to our Sunday morning live stream. It's wonderful to see you here, and I'm delighted to be here. We have a very special service for you, and I would like to begin it in just a moment after we take time for our opening time of meditation and contemplation. This is a time for you to prepare for the service that we are going to have this morning. A time for celebration, a time for integration when we hear the message of Spirit everywhere present and Spirit within each of us, when we're able to internalize that because we have focused on that message, because our mind isn't in many different places and we're trying to get ourselves together. So our morning time, first thing, of coming together and just gently letting go of all other thoughts and focus on celebrating the presence of God within ourselves and the presence of God within all. Take a deep breath, settle back, relax. I'd like to share with you this morning, by way of our opening statement, a wonderful book. As a matter of fact, it's one of my favorite books. It's called Prayer, the Master Key. It was written by Unity's Poet Laureate, James Dillard Freeman, more than 50 years ago, but it's timeless. And the one thing I love more than anything about James Dillard Freeman's work is that every poem, every piece of prose is a reminder that God, Spirit, the divine I am, is closer than we imagine, that our relationship with Spirit is closer than we ever dreamed possible, that we are the drop of water to the ocean, that we are one with Spirit, and that we today are going to be blessed during this service. And so during this time, we need to just relax and focus and center in on the message that we are receiving so that our minds aren't cluttered with a phone call we didn't make or a delivery we forgot to order. There's time for that later. Right now, let's relax as we listen to this piece of poetry by Jim Freeman called Only What is Possible. All prayer should end with praising God. Prayer should begin with praise too, but sometimes when we set out to pray, try as we will, we have no heart for praising. We're fortunate to be able to find the strength to pray, let alone praise. So if sometimes we start out to pray with a heavy heart, let us pray heavy-hearted. God knows our heart. God knows its capacities and its limitations. God knows what we can and cannot do. God only asks what is possible of us. God pushes us beyond ourselves, but only when God knows, though we do not, that we are capable of going further. God stretches us, but to the growing, not to the breaking point. Start your prayers with praise if you can, but pray whether you can praise or not. Pray until you can praise. Let this be your rule. Now, I think this is a very timely piece of prose because situations in life are such that we don't often feel like praising. We're in, as we continue to say to one another, and as I continue to say to you, very unusual times when our faith is being tested, when our very nervous systems can use some time of self-care and relaxation. And so let's not pretend or live in the world of denial where we can make everything go well because we say it will. We don't need to be trying to make things go well. What we need to be doing is affirming that they are in divine order, that there's much more than we can ever know about what is happening now around the world and why. And so what we need to do is pray, whether we can praise or not, but make every effort to find the good, to find the God in every circumstance. And so that's what we are about today. We're going to be talking about the path to enlightenment. We'll find out whether we're on it or not. But right now, let's begin with a joy song from Matthew J. Evans.
Good morning. Today we're going to sing House on a Rock. Please sing along with the lyrics on the bottom of your screen. I built my house on a rock, it's got a firm foundation, and I've got a principle within. I built my house on a rock, and it's a sweet sensation, knowing I'm free to love the world that I'm in. And I get up every morning with a song in my soul. I'm a child of God, therefore I'm well and whole. I built my house on a rock, it's got a firm foundation, and I've got a principle within. I built my house on a rock, it's got a firm foundation, and I know the truth that sets me free. I built my house on a rock, and it's a jubilation, knowing I'm meant to live though joyously. And I go out every morning with a spring in my step, doing what I ought to do with zeal and pep. I built my house on a rock, it's got a firm foundation, and I know the truth that sets me free. I built my house on a rock, it's got a firm foundation, and I see the good in everything. I built my house on a rock, and I'm a new creation, loving my winters 'cause they're followed by spring. And I look out every morning on the world and I say, all the life I've yet to live begins today. I built my house on a rock, it's got a firm foundation, and I've got a principle within. And I know the truth that sets me free, and I've got a principle within. Thank you very much. Have a great day, everybody.
Great job, Matthew. One of my favorite joy songs, House on a Rock, by the prolific and wonderful Unity songwriter and minister, Janet Manning, who wrote another of our Unity favorites called I Am Free, I Am Unlimited, There Are No Chains That Bind Me. I am free, I am unlimited, right now, right now. Beautiful lyrics. And so in this song, she's telling us that we are building our house on a rock. Metaphor? Oh, definitely. Building a house on sand refers to our placing our faith into things that don't have eternal value. Building our house on a rock recognizes that our beliefs are centered in a firm foundation, and we know, as she says, the truth that sets us free. Today we're going to be talking about the path to enlightenment, and wouldn't we all love to know what it is? We're always hearing about the path. Am I on the path? Is this the path? I was on that path, but I don't know. It didn't lead me to enlightenment, so I decided to go on another path. And then I got frustrated with that too. Are you sure that this is the path that leads to enlightenment? Because I'm willing to take it, but I'm not sure I can take the disappointment if this isn't the path that I need to be taking. Well, I think these are powerful questions. Where's the path? And as soon as we listen to a beautiful piece of music from Brett Mitchell and Matthew J. Evans, we will talk about where that path is, what's on it, and how to be an important part of it.
Here's a wonderful tune from Irving Berlin. One, two, three, four. When I'm worried and I can't sleep, I count my blessings instead of sheep. I fall asleep, counting my blessings. When my bankroll is getting small, I think of when I had none at all, and I fall asleep, counting my blessings. I think about a nursery, and I picture curly heads, and one by one I count them as they slumber in their beds. So if you're worried and you can't sleep, just count your blessings instead of all those sheep, and you'll fall asleep, counting your blessings. And if my bankroll is getting small, I just remember all those times when I had none at all. And then I fall asleep, counting my blessings. I think about a nursery, I picture all those curly heads, and one by one I count them as they slumber in their beds. So if you're worried and you can't sleep, just count your blessings instead of sheep. Fall asleep, counting your blessings. Irving Berlin, counting your blessings.
Thank you, Brett Mitchell and Matthew J. Evans. What a beautiful song. Thank you. Well, this is a powerful beginning to our service. We have heard a piece of poetry about the power of praise and the realization that if we're in a place where we can't praise, then just pray until we can. Because we don't know all that's going on. The omnipresent living spirit of truth in which we have consciousness is the purveyor of all knowledge. And so when we think maybe we're not on the path we should be on, we need to remember that. Then Matthew sang House on a Rock, and that reminded us that we have everything to praise because our spiritual world is standing on a firm foundation, which is the ever-present principle of unconditional love, life, wisdom. And so when we affirm that and when we know that, we can handle some issues that don't always go well for us because we realize that somehow, some way, we will affirm divine order and we will find good or God in those experiences. Well, we just heard Count Your Blessings. 3 messages in a row that kind of build on one another. When you're worried and can't sleep, I don't know about you, but to be honest with you, I haven't been doing that well in that department lately, and so I would appreciate affirmations that I sleep when I'm supposed to. And I am energetic and poised. I will affirm that for you as well. But it's been hard to get a good night's sleep for many of us these days. And so the song was especially meaningful to me. When I'm worried and I can't sleep, what do I do? Okay, sometimes I watch The Twilight Zone. Okay, you caught me. But the fact is, as the song says, I begin to count my blessings. I begin to praise. I begin to honor that which is whole, that which is impervious to destruction, that which is growing in wisdom and in light. I praise the omnipresent spirit of unconditional life, love, and wisdom. And if I continue to do that, and if I don't have an early morning appointment on Zoom, then I will fall asleep counting my blessings. Does that just sound a little too simple? Seriously, folks, does that just sound too simple? Well, it's not. And I want to share with you the piece of news that I promised I would share with you at the beginning of the service. And that is, what is the path to enlightenment? Many people over the years have thought it was a secret. People have paid hundreds and thousands and millions of dollars. People have gone to the far ends of the earth to figure out the path to enlightenment. I happen to know the answer. Now, I'm not suggesting that I'm the only one that knows the answer. I'm the only one that remembered it this morning, at least that I know of. But you know the answer too. So we might as well cut right to the chase. The path to enlightenment is the one that you are on right now. The path to enlightenment is your life, my life, the lives of all those around us, seeking greater and greater awareness of our divine potential. Now, I know that, maybe you were expecting more. Maybe I would have the 800 number of a guru who could get you on Google Maps and find the way to that path. But no, it's simpler than we think. Yeah, maybe a little disappointing. Maybe, we should have had some glitter and maybe some sound effects. And, we'll get to that later during our meditation. But the good news is that you are on the path to enlightenment. The other piece of good news is that you don't have to search for it anymore. Unless, of course, you have been hurt too much and have temporarily lost your faith. No. This is the path to enlightenment. Us being together this morning, having this conversation, me going out and acting on the guidance I receive, doing the best I can in any situation, whether it hits the bullseye or not. You waiting to experience a time when the world opens up again and you can go back to the way it was before. Well, to that I say, this or something better. There are those who will go back to the way it was before if they choose to, and that will be a good thing. But there will be those who pioneer through a new paradigm to a virtual reality and ways to communicate online that we haven't even thought of yet. Which of us will experience what outcome? Well, first place, it isn't an outcome, it's a new beginning. And secondly, wherever we are when the choice is made, that's going to be the path to enlightenment. So if we're searching for enlightenment, and we have been searching for a very, very long time, the question would be, what are we seeking? What are we willing to give up everything for, to just have for a moment? What is enlightenment? Well, some of the great sages of all time tell us that enlightenment is a state of consciousness in which we are awakened to the world of beauty all around us. We are awakened. We are no longer trying to push down knowledge that we are afraid is too difficult for us to face. We're no longer going to be afraid of showing people our dark side because they'll be ashamed of us, because nobody else has a dark side, right? It's just us. So we have to protect that. Just kidding. Enlightenment is when we are free to be all we were created to be and praise and give thanks for it. So, have we ever been enlightened? Have we ever been awakened? Of course. Have we ever had moments of pure joy, moments in meditation that were ineffable, when we couldn't describe them in words? We couldn't describe our experience, but it was a total and complete oneness with spirit and all life. Sure, we've had those experiences. Oh, I hear what you're saying. You expect to be enlightened all the time. Oh, I get it. That's why life is so hard for us, because we have these great moments during a weekend meditation or a time of realization that brings us to a place that is so beautiful that we believe that we should never have to stray from that again. I'm sorry, but you see, enlightenment is a broader journey than that. Those moments are fabulous. They are indescribable, literally. But being in that state 24/7 would literally burn us out. It would be too much of one thing. So now let's go back and figure out what our purpose here is. And from time to time, I will share with you that we are spiritual beings learning to have a human experience. And let me tell you this, not all human experiences are moments of awakening. Not by a long shot. The moments of awakening come as a result of the same path that we're on now. Sometimes it seems circuitous. Sometimes we trip over a rock in the past. Sometimes the weather's not so great. Sometimes we get a no trespassing sign. Other times we get a detour. And so we think, I must not be on the road to enlightenment. It's much brighter wherever that is. And so then we start with that endless and fruitless search again. Where is the place where nothing bad happens and everybody sings a chorus of life is just a bowl of cherries and watches a great TV program, falls asleep on a cloud? Where is it? Well, really, can you honestly tell me you want that? Honestly? No challenge, no opportunity to try out our skills, no opportunity to learn new things, no opportunity to see the growth of our children, no opportunities to fight for something that's inside of us that we want to see manifested. No. Enlightenment, heaven, it's not about strawberry shortcake and our favorite things to occupy our time. It's about living life to the fullest. It's about waking up every morning and understanding that you are on a mission, a divine mission. You have all that you need to experience this reality. But you haven't learned all of our coping skills. We haven't learned how to meet this particular situation, how to encounter this. Did I know when I went on a singing engagement to the Philippines in the early 1970s that I wouldn't leave there for another close to 3 years, and I would have understood everything a person needs to do to deal with flood, famine, and martial law? Now, when did I ever write a letter on New Year's after experiencing a burning bowl and say, please let me have that experience. I want to know how to deal with flood, famine, and martial law? No, that never happened. I don't think that happens to anyone. I mean, I wasn't even thinking. I didn't even know what martial law was. No, we don't ask for these things. But let me tell you, while the experiences were called flood or monsoon, famine as a result of the monsoon, and martial law as a result of a dictator in office, those were what those experiences were called. But the meat and potatoes of those experiences, with whom did I have a conversation? What did I learn about human nature? What did I learn about my own capacity to experience and overcome challenges? What is it that those experiences represent, not only in the 5 sense world, but in the world of pure potential? What powers have I owned that I didn't think I had inside of me? Did I stray from the path of enlightenment? Did I get somebody else's path by mistake? No, No, of course not. I've always been on the path of enlightenment. I don't need to have anybody tell me where it is or to join them on their path. I've been there, done that. I think you have too. Most of us come to unity, to new thought, after we've explored both traditional and non-traditional experiences. Of course, I've paid for gurus to tell me the meaning of life. Of course, I felt that I was on a path that was seeking spirit, even though it cost me quite a lot of money. So, was that straying off the path of enlightenment? No. No. Some of it was kind of amazing. Most of it was sad. Most of it was coming to terms with people who would take advantage of vulnerable young students, trying to find meaning in life, trying to feel good enough so that God will bless us. Yeah. Oh, I mean, really, truly, people have said I should write a book because it always sounds like I'm making this stuff up. But it's just another hero's journey, another way to the promised land, so to speak, which is where? That's right, you called it, within the spectrum of our own consciousness, the promised land, the realm of pure potential and all possibilities. You can't have dessert until you eat your veggies, okay? And if we were in a more awakened and enlightened state of mind, we would understand that too. We would understand that. And so today, because we understand that we are on the path to enlightenment, not only that, but we are being enlightened all the time. It isn't a road that has a finish line and a big prize and some roses at the end. It's not like that at all. It's an ongoing process. It's movement and rest. It's challenge and victory. It's glory and praise and learning how to praise, even when we don't see anything to praise. Oh no, this is the path, all right. This is the path to enlightenment. And I encourage each of you, including myself, to take a look at that path. Take a moment to take a look at our current situation in our world today. Bring them together in our mind's eye and understand and bless the entire process of coming to self-awareness, the entire process of moving toward greater and greater enlightenment, the entire process of learning to bless and give thanks and praise this process that we call the ever unfolding, infinite pathway of life. It's all part of the plan. But please remember, we have free will, and the plan is not a roadmap. The plan is a metaphor for the path that we choose and continue to choose as we experience more and more enlightenment. And of course, the biggest dose of enlightenment we can ever get is to remember what God is, where God is, and the unconditional love of Spirit that permeates every aspect of life.
Relax now. This is the time when we allow the message of the service to move in and through every cell of our being, to feel the presence of Spirit everywhere, in everything, and in everyone. Let's take a moment to celebrate the path to enlightenment that we are on right now. It is unique to our own soul's unfoldment, and it is always in divine order, even though most of the time we don't really know what that means. Divine order is inherent within us to expand and to grow, to lift ourselves into greater and greater levels of awareness, to overcome, to transcend, to move forward moment by moment, even though it might not appear to be forward. To know that every action in our lives has meaning, and to understand that the more we seek its meaning, the more of life and its mysteries will be revealed to us. And so in this moment of oneness with our divine destiny, let us know that we are blessed, enlightened, and enfolded in the unconditional love of Spirit. And so it is. Amen.
And now let's bless our offering. Let's give thanks that Unity of San Luis Obispo is a thriving spiritual community, a virtual community without limits that enables us to embrace one another as we feel the presence of God moving in and through us. We give thanks that our ministry continues to thrive through your blessings, through your gifts. And so we bless those gifts, and we give thanks that the givers are blessed 30, 60, 100-fold, and that Unity of San Luis Obispo is a good steward of those divine gifts, and that we all are prospered in every way. Let's speak the words of our prosperity prayer together. God is my source. I am God's channel. In love and wisdom, I share my gifts.
Here's a song called Blue Bossa. 1, 2.
Great job, Brett Mitchell and Matthew J. Evans. The name of that tune is Blue Bossa, and I just love it. Friends, I want to invite you once again to listen to our podcast called Get Off Your Affirmation. This week, there's a very special message, and it's about how to access your power of empathy, a really important power and a way that we can actually become the peace that we want to see in our world. Let's sing our peace song now, shall we?
was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyful vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. God bless you. Have a wonderful week. You deserve it.